you're far more right than anything else. You end up having this petri dish where social norms break down, where conventions break down, where social structure and hierarchy is kind of compressed. So when all the rules go out the window and you're basically in survival mode, then people are going to abandon all of the effort that they've put into building these different layers. When I'm tired, when I'm stressed, when I'm hungry, we joke about the word hangry. Everybody knows what hangry is, right? All hangry really is when you don't have the resources to pretend that you're satisfied. So then the truth comes out. You're effing hungry and you're really focused on eating. So don't bother me until I eat. That is what hangry is. We talk about this through a lens of personality at CIA. Everybody has a core personality. That core personality doesn't change over time. I understand that psychologists and psychiatrists and who knows, and scientific researchers are all saying that personality can change and it can adapt. Maybe it can. When it comes to the operational use of an individual's personality, it doesn't change over time. They are at 15 who they are at 65. The difference is the resources that they can bring to bear to offset their own personal weaknesses or complement their strengths when they're 15 are much less. The resources they have when they're in their 50s are much more. So they can pretend to be patient. They can pretend to be tolerant. They can pretend for a longer time, more convincingly, when they're older than when they're younger. I have this fantastic friend of mine, there's a high-powered attorney, super smart lady in Washington, D.C. And we were recently sitting and having a conversation, and she was talking about how one of her best friends from college has this mom who they've always thought is like the perfect mom. So from the time that my friend was, 20 years old in college, she was like, this woman is the perfect mom. She's always patient. She's always kind. She's the most tolerant, forgiving, whatever, right? Fast forward almost 30 years. And they take this woman to a wedding where the bridal shower is in a drag bar, a drag queen bar. And when they put that perfect mom in a drag bar, all of a sudden she starts breaking down. And she starts talking about how she doesn't really like gay people and how homosexuality isn't right. And she starts showing some of her judgmental nature, right? Where everybody had assumed she was perfect and the most forgiving and tolerant person ever. Now they're seeing the weakness. They're seeing where the armor has a chink in it. And it's because even this lady who had years and years of experience showing this persona of being patient, tolerant, forgiving, and accepting, when she was inundated and all of her resources were spent at the end of a big bridal shower day, and now they're all at a bar and there's men dressed up as women and fake boobs in her face, she's done. She's had enough. And now she starts talking what she really thinks.
And I'm guessing there are strategies to get people to this place.
Absolutely.
Fast.
Absolutely. One of the first things that you want to do when you're trying to break down the wall of public life is you want to create scenarios of adverse stress, because an untrained person is going to very quickly abandon their public persona and lean into their private persona because it's their reactive response. If the greatest joke here is whenever you watch those old comedy movies where a big strong man is standing around and talking about how he's going to protect his girlfriend forever, and then a gun goes off and he jumps behind the girl. It's a joke from the 90s. It's a perfect example of exactly what happens when public life shatters in a moment and private life comes through. It doesn't mean that big strong man is, disrespecting his woman. It could mean that big strong man believes that mommy's going to protect him, right? Or it could mean that big strong man knows he doesn't know what to do when bullets start flying, so he just hides. You don't know the full context of the meaning, but what you do know is with a little bit of cortisol and a little bit of the unexpected, you tap into a whole different person.
And how are you using this? to me, I'm more interested in how to use these techniques for some kind of good, right? Where you're trying to get to know somebody, and you're about to sign a partnership agreement with them, and you really want, to. So I've had this discussion before with golf. Golf is this arena where we get to see if you're cheating, you're kicking a ball out of the woods. We get to see if you're not, counting your strokes, like whatever it is. Yeah. Golf is this little microcosm to see how you are. But it sounds like if I want to really, get to know who you are, we're having our conversation in a crowded train station in Grand Central with fucking people screaming around you, and just, we'll find out. We'll see how invested you are in the partnership in this completely chaotic nightmare environment.
That's a great example. Yeah, that is 100% something I would recommend you do. Golf is still a safe space. You're in a cart. Nobody's putting out a great deal of physical effort or mental effort. If you want to break through someone's resources, if you want to break through someone's public life into their private life, or break through their private life into their secret life, you have to get them to spend their resources. So loud, noisy places, fantastic example. Complicated challenges, right? So it's like instead of going to play golf, go to an escape room where you've got a clock that's ticking down and you've got puzzles that you have to solve, and the whole thing's rudimentary. It's made for high schoolers and you can't fucking figure it out, right? Fantastic place to go to just drain somebody of their mental and cognitive resources. See what they can put up with. Don't have meetings over lunch. Don't have meetings over breakfast. That's when people are fresh. Have meetings at the end of the day. Have meetings at 7 o'clock at night, 8 o'clock at night, when they're fielding phone calls and harassing text messages from their spouse saying, when are you going to come home? When are you going to come home? That's how you're going to get them to say, oh, my wife won't stop bothering me. And then you all of a sudden, you're like, let's talk about your private life. Now, I can't say that I know much about how to do things for good. I don't know how you define good. For me, I define good as what brings benefit to the personal mission that I'm on with my family and with my business. That's how I define good. Because if I define good according to somebody else, I'm always going to be sacrificing what's in my best interest for whatever's in that other person's best interest.
Because good is 100% subjective. You ask me what good is, or cultural, is whatever. We go back far enough. Sacrificing somebody so it rains was like a pretty good idea.
Pretty good idea.
It's like, well, that's how it's gonna rain. Like, what the fuck else are we gonna do?
Yes, exactly.
You got a better idea, Nick? Come on, we need the rain. So I walked out of the gym today, right? And this dude screaming at me, yelling at me. I thought he, maybe watch my TikToks or something. I just kind of keep walking, and he runs out and he says, "Dude, you look great, man. You everything is proportionate. You look good. It's just great. I train too. I'm a truck driver. I work over here. Blah blah blah. I might see you in the neighborhood." It was like this crazy moment, and I was like, in my head, I was like, "This is something I would do." I mean, that's what I was saying to myself. I was like, I'm the guy that does this crazy shit. And then he's like, I'm John, man, so I deliver the freaking milk across the street. And I was just like, John, I'm Nick, man. You're the man, best of luck. Like, it was one of those things where I'm like, I feel like I'm going to see John again. And, we're going to be buddies. And, if there's someone who's trying to kick my ass in the middle of the street, John's going to come out of fucking nowhere, and take care of business with me. So, but again, that stopping, he didn't just hold the door. He said, hey, you look really fit, man. Looks like you're really putting an effort in, whatever it is. Made me feel good about myself.
Right.
Okay. So,
what are you doing for John? You see?
I don't know what I'm doing for John yet.
Exactly. And
I'm actually kind of worried now about what I got to do for John.
And the example that you just said is if somebody tries to jump you in the street, John's got your back. So here, yet again, you're not doing anything for John. What's the reciprocity? The only reciprocity you're feeling right now is like, oh shit, what am I going to do for John? Because cool guy, but he's also kind of uncomfortable. A little bit of a hugger. I don't really want to be hugged by a dude when I'm on the way to the gym. Right? I'll give John a shout out on my awesome podcast and hope that gets back.
I mean, I just did. It worked, John. It worked. It fucking worked, man. I mean, I just did, right? This is like the corner of reality that I am just I'm quite frankly obsessed with this corner of reality. I don't know what you slap a word on it. Collaboration. The idea is like, my model for society is a bunch of people collaborating together. The more they collaborate, the higher the output. The less they collaborate, the worse the output is. So my model is the more collaboration, the better. The higher economic output for everybody. So if we're all kind of kind and funny and helpful, our collaboration is going to increase through the social grease of us helping each other getting in. The door example is one of the best examples. I open for you, you open for me, we get in the fucking restaurant really fast, or whatever it is. It's like a grease. It's for society, where I think that's why courtesy exists. It's just, you're going to get through your day faster, I'm going to get through my day faster. Let's just agree to this. Where am I going with this, Andrew? I don't know. This is just what I'm interested in.
Yeah, and I appreciate what you're interested in. I like the word collaboration as well. I often say collaboration is the word that most of us are looking for. We're not looking for cooperation. Cooperation doesn't get us what we want. Collaboration gets us what we want, right? That's collaboration is the superior model. But again, like I feel like a little bit I'm the devil's advocate here with you, Nicholas, because not all people are equal. Not all people have equal capacity. Not all people have equal potential. Not all people have equal access or opportunity. And it's nice to think that someday that might happen. It won't. It won't, because it's not human. Human beings are independently different. Some are tall, some are short, some are prone to gain weight, some are prone to run fast. We can't possibly be equal. What we actually say when we say we want equality is we want fair opportunity. We want fairness. We want the opportunity to have something that we want, and we want that to be based on the level of work and the capabilities that we bring to the table. We want fairness when we say we want equality. And I say that because
we want to have an at-bat is what we want.
Yeah, we just want a chance, and we want it to be a fair chance, right? Because here's the truth of it. If you don't want to collaborate with everybody, you want to collaborate with the best, smartest people who are equally as interested and invested in the thing that you're collaborating on. You don't want to just collaborate with 5 people. You want to collaborate with 5 smart, talented, hardworking people who are in this as much as you are in this. But we don't want to talk about that part, right? We don't want to be as specific when we talk about what we really want, because now all of a sudden we run the risk of other people judging us. We run the risk of our public life coming under scrutiny. So publicly we're like, everybody has value, everybody's equal, everybody's fair, everybody be my friend. What CIA teaches us is that the reason you observe in the public life is because you want to see what people are saying so that you can understand what they're really thinking. Because it's often that people think something very different than what they say. What they say is a derivation. It's a shade of what they think. It's not truly what they think, because what they think is private. What they say is public. So there's this discrepancy between the two. So your goal is to observe, listen to what they say, and then press them in the area where you think they're actually thinking. So when somebody's like, yeah, I think it's really important that we give schools more money so that students have a better education. I really think that's an important thing. And then you say, where do your kids go to school? Oh, well, my kids go to private school. Oh, now isn't that interesting? Now you can dig into that, right? What made you choose private school? What made you choose the private school that you chose? What's the nearest public school to you? How do you feel about paying taxes for public school and then having to also pay for private school? Mm-hmm. Like the list goes on to what you can dig into when you listen to what someone's saying and you realize that what they're saying is not really true. What they're saying is a shade of what they believe, but what they truly believe is private to them. I believe you when you say humility and kindness are important to you. I really do believe you, but I believe that's a shade. It's a derivation of what you really think. And I think what you really think is that you wish more people were humble and kind. And maybe by you being humble and kind and talking about being humble and kind, more people will be humble and kind. And that's a net benefit for all of us. There's something that you want, though. There's something that benefits you from people behaving that way. It's certainly better than my philosophy of, everybody should just be an outright asshole and say what they really think so that I know who I'm friends with and who I don't have to waste my time with.
Right. Because, the process of you moving people from public to private to secret, it sounds like a little bit of work. Sounds like a lot of work, man.